Soul Calibur.
Hey, what's up guys, it's Mark Yoon, and today I'm bringing you another exciting video. So I'm going to be bringing some Soul Calibur 6 news to light that's been coming on recently. There are a few interesting tidbits in this video, so I would encourage you to watch it into the end. And I would also like to thank Ariel for providing some of the footage that's in this, because I played with her last night for a while and she whooped my butt. So let's, without further ado, get right into the video. And the first thing we're going to be talking about is this GameSpot article, which I will provide a link to in my description box. And this article goes into some Bandai Namco information about how they're planning on banning people who create inappropriate characters. Now, I don't think this means ban them like if they just create a character, because obviously they have no way of knowing. I think it goes more into like if you play with them in online ranked matches, because then it's like visible. But or maybe there's even going to be like a reporting system, I don't know. But let's just get right into the article, and I'll put it on screen as I read it so that you guys can follow along. And let's just jump right into it. So the article starts with, on the official Soul Calibur 6 website, Bandai Namco posted a notice revealing that players who create inappropriate custom characters online, in quotations, will risk having the ability to access online functionality revoked. However, Bandai Namco didn't provide any details on what the company considers to be quote-unquote inappropriate characters. It's not quite clear if this solely includes characters that have used props to imitate explicit material, or if the trolling players have been encountering will also be struck down. The problem players are facing is due largely in part to Soul Calibur 6's robust character creation system. Oh, I'm sorry, hold on. That wasn't a joke. The robust character creation system. Robust means there's a lot in it, which that's why I laughed. I'm sorry, it's funny. Players can choose from a wide variety of equipment, weapons, and props when building a character from scratch, allowing for impressive custom characters. However, these same items can be used in unintended ways, like a massive prop covering the entire body of a fighter, rendering their opponent unable to see when they're guarding or preparing for a strike. Now, I want to go into this for a second, because in Soul Calibur 5 there were other accessories that were allowed to be used, and I was counting on them in Soul Calibur 6. Like, I didn't create Mysterio in 5 from Spider-Man, but I wanted to create him in 6. But, because there's like the eyes and stuff now, but they removed the sphere. And I think it's because people in Soul Calibur 5 were making like extra huge, let's just say love orbs. And I guess that's why they took away that functionality, which is incredibly stupid to me. Just put it in and ban people who miss. I'm even against the banning, but I don't. The ranked matches is one thing, but let's move on to the next part of the article. If Bandai Namco is not only targeting players that are creating explicit material to use online, the ban may not quite satisfy fighting game fans. That's a nice little guess on their part. Since the release of the game, players have been bombarded by troll characters in ranked mode, making it difficult to maintain a winning streak. As a result, many gamers have been asking for custom characters to be banned from ranked mode entirely, as those fights leave a lasting mark on players' records. This is interesting. There is unranked matches. In my opinion, if they want to create a character out of ranked matches, I don't necessarily have a problem with that, because some of the characters fighting are different when they're based on custom characters anyway, like Mitsurugi's that goes into that auto combo that doesn't auto reverse edge. So I wouldn't really be this wouldn't be too problematic for me. Like, I like the fact that characters can be used online, but if they restricted it to friend matches and just, unranked matches in general, I'd be okay with that. I mean, I don't really use those characters on ranked anyway. I pretty much stick to the regular cast when it comes to ranked. The article continues, although gamers may be pleased that Bandai Namco is looking into it, it remains to be seen how it will play out. If Bandai Namco is tracking inappropriate characters solely based on players' reports, it may take a while to actually crack down on explicit character creations. It shouldn't be based on a reporting system, because that'll open up to people reporting and blowing up the system and having a backlog from just reporting characters when they lose. Or if somebody gets mad and rage quits, like, they can report the other person. Like, that's like not the person who was winning the match, I mean. So this opens up for a large thing, and plus, like, Inappropriate Characters is like a very that's based on like someone's opinion. Like there's no like, you know, that's completely anecdotal. There's no implicit or explicit like rationale of like what would be constituted as an inappropriate character. Somebody can see a regular Ivy character and say that's inappropriate. You know what I mean? So I don't understand why that shouldn't be based on reporting at all. I'm 100% against that because people will abuse the crap out of that system. The article goes on, however, with the release of Nier Automata's 2B on the horizon and full season's worth of content to follow, it makes sense for the company to try and tackle this problem as soon as possible. Yeah, I agree, they should tackle the problem, but ostensibly it's how they do so which will, you know, entice whatever reaction they get from the people. Taking them out of ranked matches is probably the best way to go about doing it. I don't agree with them banning people. What they should do is if they come across an inappropriate character or someone happens to see it, I don't think a reporting system would help. That would only hinder things and slow the game down. And before they work on like a program to like ban people, can they work on the netcode? Because like last night when I was playing with Ariel, I don't know where in the US she lives, but it was lagging quite a bit. Like, it was lagging worse than I've ever encountered on Soul Calibur 5 thus far. And I don't think it's based on our connections, because our connections seem pretty good. They just need to work on the netcode before they start working about, like, a ban thing. And this, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below about this article. And then we're moving on to Bandai Namco's website, which I will have a link to this article also in the description box. They have an interesting description for 2B, which gives a little more insight onto the character and how she plays. So it says 2B wields two swords, Virtuous Contract and Virtuous Treaty. Both have been carefully tuned for maximum efficiency in the hands of Yora Android. I don't know how to pronounce that. Her fighting technique is specially designed for combat against machine life forms, employing acrobatic leaps and mid-air slashes, lightning-fast evasions, and perfectly coordinated strikes. And then it goes on to say, 2B will be a playable fighter in versus mode, arcade mode, and online matches. 2B will also come with her own stage and background music. It doesn't say anything about her style being used for create a character, but I'm assuming that it would automatically be, so just like Tira's was added. I wouldn't see the reason why, because like Geralt is in there, and so as well, so I don't see a reason why I wouldn't, but it just doesn't say that. But it's so I wanted to focus on this little description here. It says employing acrobatic leaps and mid-air slashes, lightning fast evasions, and perfectly coordinated strikes. So from this, seems like she'd be a mid to close range combat character, and obviously if she's quick and nimble enough for fast evasion and dodges, and then acrobatic leaps and mid-air slashes, she's probably going to be like a Yoda-esque character. I'm not saying like Yoda at all, but he like jumped around a lot and was pretty flippy. So that was that article. You guys can read it for yourself if you want to read the full thing. It was just a little description that Bandai Namco had on their website depicting what 2B is going to be about. And then something that I touched on in the first article, I will have a link to this in the description box below, but on Soul Calibur's Reddit, one of the admins created a sticky that was going into the netcode about Soul Calibur, because apparently people on every platform have been having a problem with the netcode, getting error matches and stuff like that. I have gotten about 3 or 4 errors. It doesn't happen that often. And then when it does, it just kicks you out of the room. I mean, it brings you back to the lobby room. It doesn't kick you out, but it's still inconvenient. But anyway, so his what his post actually states is this, and then you can go there to reply to this post if you're part of Reddit. So this says, okay, he says, he didn't realize this thread meant so much to some people. He unpinned it because of the activity, blah, 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 blah. He said, to be clear, this was never meant to be a method to put pressure on Bandai Namco, but a way to collect data on user experiences for the team to take a look at. They are more than likely, I'd say almost certainly, working on a solution, but developing and distributing a patch for something like this takes time. It's been 1 week since the game launched and 5 days since the thread was created and pinned. I get that it absolutely blows not to be able to access 50 to 75% of a game you spent $60 on. $90 with the special edition. I truly do, or season pass. I truly do. My own game will intermittently throw up a network error has occurred for entire stretches of time. It's a messed up situation, but there's not much more that we can be done with the issues, though Bandai Namco, whatever channel you can. And then wait patiently. Additionally, the artists, modelers, and programmers that are responsible for creating the DLC characters have almost no crossover with the team that would be responsible for fixing the networking problems, so presumably working on the DLC is not somehow taking away from development from the patches of the netcode. And I've heard people say that a lot. That, oh, they're working on the DLC and that's why they're not fixing the netcode. Those are totally different teams, and people aren't jacks of all trades. Like, you get hired for a position based on a certain skill set, and I have a certain set of skills, and those skills are what you employ in your job. So if you're hired as an animator, they're not going to be having you work on netcode or having you work on text operation for quotes within the screen. It's just going to be animations of the character, and so on and so forth. I have seen a lot of people say this, but this is unsurprising to me because I get a lot of comments on my channel about people that really don't know much about development, and they're frustrated with certain aspects of the game, and they're really easy to blame parties that have no involvement in that part. Like, maybe I'll do a video one of these days about the development process. I personally have friends that are in the development aspect of game creation, and maybe I'll do an interview with one of them and bring them on. But there's a lot that people don't know that goes into making these games, and they think it's just as easy as, oh, they should have done this or they should have done that. There's a lot of like underlining circumstances that are taken into account, like budget, for example, and you know, timelines and financiers and producers. Like, all of these people have their hands in the pot, and like not many people have a chance to do what they want. For example, Soul Calibur 5 was such a hard rush to game because like they ran out of development time and they weren't getting any more extra money to keep it going, and they had to have the game out by a certain time. Therefore, they chopped the story mode to almost nothing. That's a fact, and that's what was said in the interviews, and all the stuff that I know about development backs that claim up. But like I said, look forward to that video because I probably am going to do a video on that. I don't want to waste too much time in this video based on that. But let me know what you guys thought in the comment section down below. That's the actual second part of the video. I read every comment and I do respond. I am really interested in hearing what you guys think in response to these 3 articles that I read. Is there anything that you're having problems with, like pertaining to the netcode? How do you feel about banning people online who have quote-unquote inappropriate characters created? Just let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and we can continue discussing this. And also be sure to go check out my friend Rich at Ragaroth Enterprises. You can find a link to his channel in my description box down below, as well as Joker's channel for Creators Alliance. Well, it was formerly Creators Alliance, now it's Tuber Talk. So you can find all the links to everything we talked about in the description box below as well. And enjoy the new outro, because every month I try to switch up my outro so it doesn't get too boring. And with that being said, guys, we're going to bring this video to a close. I hope you enjoyed it. And as always, guys, stay powered up. Peace.